Hello, family! My name is Chris. I am your home gamer dad, and welcome back to Corp of Discovery, a game set in the world of Manifest Destiny, which is a graphic novel series that basically follows the not so historically accurate adventures of Lewis and Clark going through America from east to west, meeting all the people that you can probably figure they were going to meet, like Sacagawea and a few other friends, but instead of just discovering the lands that lay before them, it's filled with monsters and creatures and all different types of craziness that just makes the world such a whimsical fantasy style, very, very deadly place. This game is produced from Off the Page Games. They are known for taking amazing graphic novels and turning them into fun tabletop experiences. I've played this a few times so far on the channel, and I want to keep going with it with the expansions that I have recently obtained. The Insecta, which is what we're going to be doing today, and the Vamitor, I think it is, something like that. It's a giant bird creature. Let me know how to pronounce that down in the comment section below before I start playing, so I know. Before I get into this, I do just want to call out Off the Page Games really quickly for Corp of Discovery, because I'm really hoping to get this out in time before the Kickstarter for the second edition of this game ends. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer of a Kickstarter when I looked at it, but I only have a few more days. As of this recording, there's only like 8 days left of it. But if you don't have the game, second edition is going to be wonderful for you to have, because they added in a few different cards that you need to play the different chapters with it. You don't have to go back and forth between all the chapter cards either. It's like they give you duplicates of them so you can spread them around. Approach the Arch, which is the first card in your sequence. It's a different color scheme because it's never going to get shuffled in. Just various things along that way. So I wanted to just call that out. Hopefully there's still some time left for you to get on over there, because in addition to second edition, they're also selling Corp of Discovery Duos, which is a two-player game that is based on this. And from what all the reviewers and from what I'm seeing show on it, it is a game that maintains the heart and spirit of the original Corp of Discovery, but as a two-player game, it does add new mechanics and different ideas to it, which is exactly what you would expect from a Duos game. With that all rambled in the beginning, let's go ahead and dive into our adventure today. So as I said, we will be going through expansion number 1, Insecta, where our team has come across a giant insect swarm that's running around, and there are needle-sharp proboscises piercing through flesh and clothing alike, basically sucking the life out of all of their crew. We need to find a way to make an insect spray in order to be able to defeat them. However, in order to be able to do that, we have to send items to the boat, but blocking the boat is this giant frog-like monstrosity called the Ranidae, and we have to distract it in order to be able to send the stuff to the boat, or else it's just going to eat it. If you're looking for anything specific for the expansion, you're going to go and look for this symbol up here with the little mosquito. Otherwise if it doesn't have a symbol on it, it's going to get shuffled in already, and I'll explain as we go forward with that. So the map that I've chosen for this one is Insecta map 3008. So again, if you probably have this. I think this was a standard one that came with it instead of one of the expansions, but there's like 12 or 15 different maps of this thing. So unless you have a photographic memory, everything I show you here, I'd be surprised if you can remember it many like weeks or months later. Right now, as far as our setup main goes, for this one, our goal to win the game is to kill 4 insects. And these are the insects that will appear through the threat cards and various other things that pop up through our adventure. When they are summoned to the field, they will always go on an uncovered area or unexplored area, and every space around it will then increase by 1 resource. You need +1 resource in order to explore anything around it until you finally kill it. Once we make the insect spray, we have to find a way to push them off of the unexplored spot into an explored spot where they immediately will die. And I thought I'd knock something out there. So we have to kill 4 of these within this adventure. But the problem with that is up here with the Ranidae. This is that giant frog thing that's blocking our path. Whenever we uncover a resource on the board, instead of accepting it, we can send it to the boat if we don't have it already, and then it's just going to line up down right here. We need to collect 1 of every resource in order to make the insecticide. However, the Ranidae is blocking it, so we can't send anything there. We would need to be able to distract it. To distract it, we would have to spend either a food token, which is this right here. I guess it's upside down. I don't know, wherever its tongues are, it's so weird. Or a water, so one or the other. We only have 3 of those tokens, by the way, and we have to make a guess. If we are right with our guess in terms of what's the next thing we're going to uncover, then this will flip face down. This means that it is calm waters and the Ranidae is distracted. We can then start sending stuff to the boat. This will not flip back over to that frog side until the start of the new day. So that would be all of our, our challenges have been completed. We've gone through the end day, night phase, or special effects that come from the challenges. So you got to watch out for those as well. Once this has been completed, we would flip this over. We have the insecticide for the rest of the round. We don't have to worry about the Ranidae, and then we can just focus on killing those ugly bugs. As a refresher for the game, I'll go over what you need to do round by round as we go through it, but as far as the Insecta goes, some additional things we have. We know where the peak to the mountain is, which is right here at F4, meaning that there's definitely there's no stone here because it's never on the edge, but we know like some of these have got to be stone, so that's really good in terms of like early knowledge about where stuff is. We would start anywhere here within column 7, picking our first starting point. And then, of course, there's only 3, or at least a minimum of 3 of each terrain within the board here. That's important because one of the lose conditions for this map is that if you can't send anything to the boat, it's an immediate game over because that means you can't make the insecticide, and that's the only way to defeat the bugs. Well, there is another way, but you only can defeat 1. We need to defeat 4. Basically, so if you're going through all of this and you've uncovered 3 mushrooms and you know for a fact that there's no more mushrooms, that's an immediate game over because you can't make it without the mushrooms, as they are an important part here. And the extra rules down here just talk about shuttling stuff to the boat when gaining a resource or water from exploring, and that's exploring only. That would be your explore step. You cannot do this on any one of your free actions. You can shuttle an item immediately over to the boat so long as the Ranidae is face down. Otherwise, you cannot shuttle. Once you have shuttled each resource, you have created the insecticide, and the insect tokens on explored paths immediately die. Things that we're going to have to pay attention to as we go through it is that water and wood are orthogonally connected to each other. Food is diagonally connected to a teepee. There will always be at least 1 monster den around every teepee, and I'll explain what each one of these symbols do if they have a special effect to them as we uncover them through the game. Within the same row, you will always find a mud. Well, not always, but if you happen to find a mud, you will find a flower within the same row and vice versa. So if you found a flower somewhere within that row, there will be mud. Wood has Sudoku rules, so only 1 per line and column. Mud will always be orthogonally next to water and stone. So if you find 1 of each, you can know where the mud is. Stone is always connected to each other. That's just a monster den, pulling out a monster, drawing a threat card, and bad things happen. Placing a shelter. Shelters will always be near food and wood, and whenever you uncover a shelter, you gain 1 of the new tokens for this one, the mushrooms. TPs, whenever you uncover it, you can trade 1 resource or water for any other resource, and I believe water as well. And whenever you discover a hilltop, you get rid of the token that you pull from it, so it doesn't count towards your day. You would take another turn, and the X value is how many monster huts are vertical or horizontal within that same row or column. Exploration rewards, do a complete column. You are able to get a destiny card, which we love. A, vertical column. You would move 1 insect token, 1 path orthogonally. That's how you get them off of those undiscovered spots to discovered ones after you've made the insecticide. Continuing with our setup over here, I have our stack of basically threat cards, which are all the insects and a few other bad things that come out. What you want to do is you want to find all the ones with the insect symbol right here, and then you're going to want to find the other threat cards that have no symbols on them, shuffle them up, and you're going to take 2 of them and put them into here. I'm pretty sure you do this for all the other stuff. You did this with the flora, and then you did it with the Minotaurs as well, where you have a few generic threats that you have to deal with, but then mostly you're trying to get through it in order to find the insects and other bad things that, you need to spawn on the ground to be able to kill. I'd rather wait a little bit to find the insects, because if they're there, you have to spend that resource in order to be able to explore around them. So they really just hinder you and make you spend resources that you don't want to spend, but it is what it is. We have approach the arch as our first location. Always, this will always be the first thing you have. And now we're going to put down other challenges. Remember, the way that the challenges work is you have what you're looking for that particular challenge for the day, and you have this many turns in order to do it. Think of these like hours. 5 hours to approach the arch. By that time, you should have a piece of wood. Should you have a piece of wood, you would then spend it in order to gain a food to pass it. If you don't, or choose not to pass it, you will always then take the fail, which in this case, I still get food, but I lose water, and that could be really, really detrimental to my team. Oh, I need to fill this up. Give me 1 second. There we go. Nice full canteen for our day. Hopefully we'll keep it as full as we possibly can, because the general lose conditions for any one of the chapters is that if you get to the end of the day and you do not have a food, then everyone starves to death and they die. Or if you go to spend water for any reason at all and you can't, like this entire thing is dried up, then you immediately lose as well through dehydration. So you don't want either of those things to happen. Let's fill out our last 2 consequences right here, just see what our days have to be. We have a cold snap going through. We got to make a fire. So if we have a fire and spend 2 water, passing it means that we get, we get one of, this is called the sample. They clog up your area, and I think you could just kind of discard any resource or something. I'll find it. I know I'm going to get it anyway, in order to get it out of your backpack. But it's just an annoying thing in order to clog up stuff. If we fail, we lose a lot of water. We lose 2 water regardless, and then 2 of any resource or water. And we also get another sample. So we really don't want to fail that, and having a fire probably isn't the worst thing in the world. The other consequence we have is a bug bite. Oh gosh, we only have 2 hours in order to deal with this. We need a flower and a water. Passing it doesn't do anything, but if we fail it, we lose 2 water, and we flip the Ranidae face up, add an insect token to one of the northernmost unexplored. Oh yeah, so then that insect goes in. So the frog comes back, even if we had flipped it over, and then we get a bug on the board, which later on isn't the worst thing possible, but I really don't want to have to deal with that right now. Yeah, any resource or water, should you have a sample within your backpack, you can then get rid of it, but that's just going to make me spend something that I don't want to spend. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put down the Destiny cards. These are super powerful cards that once they get into my possession, I can use them for their abilities. They're hard to get, but trust me, getting them as long as you can, as often as you can, I should say, is the difference between winning and losing this game. This one is specifically for Insecta. Move an insect token to an adjacent path when you explore the last unexplored path in a column. Okay, so then basically instead of the row, which is that exploration card, you can discard this when you do a column to not only gain another Destiny card, but then move an insect. So we're going to hold off on that for right now until we get some insects and we get our, our insecticide, because that's really what we need. Make a deal. Look at one path directly west of each teepee. So exposing the teepees are great, and then to the west of each teepee would then, you can look at them. They're not explored, but at least you know what's there. So not a bad idea having that type of information. The last thing we're going to do before we start the game is look at our characters. So I have chosen Clark as one of my 2 characters. I'm doing this 2-handed 2-player style. He is a leader. Exhaust. Swap 1 gear from reserve and add to your play area. So the 2 items under him are the 2 items that he's bringing into this. And basically what that means is that even if he uses an item, so say he's exhausted this, he can exhaust himself to put this back in reserve and then take any one of the available gear cards, put it right in, and he'll be able to use it. So ideally he gets 3 items a turn, but it's going to be a swapping around in order to be able to figure out which ones would be best for him at that time. There are certain gear, like these right here, that say can only be selected at the start of game. I'm going to say that I can't use any of these simply because of that, wording down on the bottom. You guys can let me know if you think otherwise, but I can't choose these as a swap for Clark just because they would need to be chosen at the start of the game. And then the other character we have is Sacagawea herself. She actually comes within the Insecta pack, so if you don't have her, that's where you're able to find her within this particular expansion. She has Scout. Exhaust before explore. When you explore, select an unexplored path 2 away. She's able to effectively jump over a path, which is amazing, and then that's almost even a new spot for you to start exploring from. So this way, if you get caught in a corner, she can jump something, and then you can start somewhere else, which is amazing. Really, really good skill like that to cover ground really quickly. I gave her the dowsing rod. exhaust before exploring. If you correctly guess the terrain you're about to explore, gain a resource or water from an adjacent explored path as well. So you're getting 2 from that one exploration, whatever it is you find, plus whatever it is that you're gonna take from an adjacent one. Keep in mind for the boat, the one that you gain from the adjacent path goes to the backpack. You can only put the one that you find through an explore action to your boat. And finally, I gave her the spear, something else that was also introduced here within the Insecta. One time use, completely move from play. Once you use it, kill one monster. That's going to be extremely helpful because that'll be one less insect we got to deal with, meaning that we only need to get 3 dead instead of 4. And I'm not going to use it right away either. I'd rather just kind of see where things kind of fall out. I am going to take the medicine as well. Exhaust, refresh 1 character or gear. So if it's exhausted, I can exhaust this to unexhaust it. Yeah, I'm going to lose 5 points at the end of the game, but that's okay. I'm not really too worried about that. Points for me are never really like, I don't try to go for a high score. I'm just trying to go for the win because that to me is more exciting, being able to beat these maps. I'm 1 for 1 for this right now. Let's see if I can break that tie. And with all that said and done, I think it's time we start our exploration. So we can start at any one of these spots here on column 7. I'm going to start right here because I have a feeling if I go closer to this rock, I'll be able to find some water and some mud and just kind of work myself out that way. So we're going to take this one first, which is water. So first thing we found is some water, which isn't necessarily a great thing because if I find too much water in the beginning, I won't be able to put it into my canteen. So failing this first one isn't the worst thing in the world because then I get rid of the water, but I got to make sure to have enough to be able to not run out of water later on. And that's it. That's an entire turn. You find a spot that you want to uncover, you take the item, and then you can use your items that you have here for your characters. You can do other free actions. You're going to interact with stuff. But then once you're all done with that, it is now the next person's turn. So Sacagawea goes. Keep it also in mind that you could only use items on that character's turn. So if there was an insect on the board, I couldn't use the spear. If Clark was exploring, I would have to wait for Sacagawea to go. So I think Sacagawea is going to continue on here because I don't think this is a water. I actually think this might be a mud because of, I think this might be a rock. Because if this is a mud, this is definitely rock right here, which would be really good in order to be able to explore some stuff and gain some extra items. I just think that, I know this can't be water. I'm just kind of looking at some of my things here. This might also be a stick. That's also very possible. Then a stick could be here or here as well. The stick would be more useful, the wood, I should say, because I want to also build a fire. You know what? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to go into this corner right here. So this is one we're going to take. Okay, all right, so there's the wood. The good thing about knowing that the wood is here means that there is no wood going up or down here as well. So that automatically narrows down wherever there's more wood. Okay, so that's good. So that's 2 right there. We do get our first actual piece of in our backpack. To build a fire, which is what we need for this cold snap, we would need 2 wood or 2 stone. However, Clark should be able to bypass that with his special ability, which it is Clark's turn right now. And now we have to figure out where else we want to go. I'm still convinced that this is mud because that's got to be, what is it? Got to be rock then. Do I just keep going up or do I go left? I got to also find a flower. I need to find a flower quickly. So if this is mud, then the flower isn't going to be until way back this way, which I would need to go up and around in order to find it because the flower is in the same row as the mud. And I know that if this is rock, then I'd have to go around it in order to figure out where the flower is. And that's going to take way too much time. Let's just go ahead and, yeah, we're just going to go with information. I think this is mud. I'm not going to, well, I can't call it anyway because it's Clark's turn and he doesn't have any ability to call. I could use one of my food. No. Because if this is mud, then this is rock and I can use one of my rock in order to, distract the Ranidae. So we're just going to flip this one. Yeah. Oh, it's rock. Okay. See? Wow. I was wrong right off the get-go. Okay. Huh. So that's here. Here, where's our rock? Here's our rock. I would need 1 stick and 1 rock in order to be able to make the fire, but I can't do that right now because I wouldn't be able to get any more. All right, well, the other good thing here is that I know that this is rock as well, simply because all the rocks are attached to each other. This could be a rock. This is definitely not a rock. It is Sacagawea's turn right now. So I think maybe we're going to start going down this way, because if I know this is a rock, and then I can use the meat in order to make a guess and then distract the Ranidae and at least get something going there. So we're going to grab this one for Sacagawea. It is her turn. And if this is, all right, that's water. That's, okay. So then with that saying, I'm going to say that's mud, because that has to be rock because everything connects to each other. Okay, this might actually work out very well for us. All right, what are we at right here so far? We're at 1, 2, 3, this is number 4. So whatever we do next is going to end approaching the arch right here. We do get a water, so we will plop that there. I'm halfway thinking of just failing this to empty out one of the water. We still get a berry, and I get to keep my wood. Not that I need my wood for anything, but not a bad idea for me to hold on to it for right now. All right, so it is Clark's turn, and what Clark is going to do is we're going to make a call. We're going to take this meat, we're going to throw it at the Ranidae, and we're going to call this one as mud. So then if this happens to be mud, then the Ranidae is gone, well, gone for the remainder of the day, unless there's something that affects it in order to flip it back over. So I'm calling this as mud. I'm saying this is mud. Yep, I saw it. There's mud. Yes, yeah, all right, I got it. That means the Ranidae is chowing down on this piece of meat right here, nom, 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 and he has flipped on over to the calm water side, which means now anything we collect going forward from exploration, we can start sending to the boat. And that's 5 explorations right here that we're going to be able to do. I don't think I could send this because he wasn't technically flipped over when I explored. He wasn't until afterwards. So I'm going to say I can't send it. If I could, I wish I'm not sure. But regardless of anything, that's that. We have finished this up. All 5 hours have been expunged. This is done. We have failed this. So by failing it, we lose a water, but we gain a berry, which is fine because we need that in order to survive. This goes away, and then there's other consequences. When revealed, I lose water if fatigue and resolve any monster that have consequences. There's no monsters with consequences. And fatigue is anything in the red here, so long as we don't have a shelter. We don't have a shelter right now, so we can only call the maximum of 4 things at the end of a challenge. Spending stuff and getting rid of it is a really good way in order to lower that down. All right, it's Sacagawea's turn, and yes, I could use her dowsing rod in order to call this as rock, and then I know that it's rock, so that means I'd be able to get either another mud or another rock, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world in order to create a, a fire. But because we have mud here, one of these 4 has got to be, a flower. And I'd rather get the flower in my inventory as soon as possible in order to be able to deal with that bug bite. And I think Clark on his next turn should be able to make a fire. So we're just going to go straight down the line here. Hey, berries. Okay, so, all right. So with this berry right here, berries have to be adjacent to teepees. Not adjacent, diagonal to teepees. So that means this has to be a teepee up here. Teepees are great because that enables you to take any item that you have and swap it out with something else. However, instead of me taking this berry, because we have calm waters, we're going to send it to the boat. That is 1 down that we need in order to be able to make our insecticide. It's also good there too, because I can always send water up that way instead of holding on to it from there. There's nothing else she needs to do. We still have 2 more pulls to finish this. So Clark's going to go. And on Clark's turn, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to exhaust himself. And we're going to take care of this Captain Logbook where it swaps challenge cards on the field, because I thought maybe I would do that to give myself a little time, but I don't want to swap anything. But we're going to take that out, and we're going to immediately swap that with the flint. You exhaust that to build a fire for 1 stick, or 1 wood, or 1 rock. I'm going to do that right now. And we're going to use the rock that we have. We only need 1 because of his flint, so we're going to pop that in there. And where are you? Come here. Well, bam, there's a fire. Fire isn't necessarily important with the insects, but as you can see, there are certain challenges that need it. I'd rather have the fire and only lose 2 water at the end of Sacagawea's turn, rather than a ton of other stuff. Now, the other thing that worries me is a monster den. The monster den could be any one of these spots. Could even be this one as well, because this mountain range could just be these 5 spots right there. I'm just going to keep moving forward. I'm not going to make any other guesses because the Ranidae isn't here and I don't have to worry about it. I'd rather just try to collect new things. So, hiya! Okay. Oh, we have the flower. That's the flower. There's only so many flowers on the board, but I need it for the other thing. There's 2 more flowers on the board. I will be okay waiting for a little bit later for it. I know that may not be the smartest move to do right now, but I think that would, no. I take it back. I'm going to send this to the boat. Because if I send it to the boat, I can use Sacagawea on her next turn in order to be able to call the teepee, which I could do using the dowsing rod, and then be able to get a resource that's connected to it, which would be another flower. Which is exactly what I'm going to do. We will activate her dowsing rod, and we will call that for a teepee. And if that's a teepee, I will not only be able to exchange something that I have for something else, but I'll be able to also earn a flower. Well, yes, earn a flower, which I can use for the bug bite. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm saying this is a TP. Haha, yes! Oh, I love being right with this stuff. It makes me feel so smart. I love it. Okay, yeah, fantastic. All right, so what I did then is I did the TP. The TP enables me to trade anything here for something else. I don't really know what I want to trade for at this point. If there's anything, I know I can get plenty of rocks and other like mud and everything. Maybe I'm going to trade this mud for a mushroom. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this mud. Maybe I don't take it for a mushroom. Maybe I just wait on the mushroom for later. I'm going to take a skull. Because skulls are really important to have for other things, and you only get them when you discover monster dens, and that's terrifying. So we did that, so that's our exchange, and then because of Sacagawea's dowsing rod, she's able then to take a resource from something that we've previously uncovered, so we do get a flower as well, which is awesome. Is there anything else I want to do with her? Unfortunately, there is nothing else that she's going to do, so we're going to go ahead and activate the cold snap, because that's all 3. This may not be as good as I think it is, because I'm going to be losing a lot here. 2 water have to go because of it, and we do have a fire. That does, unfortunately, give us a sample right there, which blocks this one spot. This finishes, and unfortunately, we have a consequence, which is when revealed, it's lose a water if fatigued, and resolve any monsters that has consequences. So I'm just going to kind of go something that I see here in the book when it comes to fatigue. It says here, if you're carrying 5 or 6 resource tokens or other things like samples, Greek fire, you are considered fatigued, which is what we are. You must either discard down to 4 resources to not be fatigued or lose 1 water as the penalty for carrying too much. So you can actually don't have to lose water for being fatigued if you choose to like get rid of stuff and go back down to 4. I am actually just going to lose 1 water and keep all of my stuff. So we lost a water in order to like kind of not be fatigued, but I think I'll be able to pull all this stuff down right before this one triggers. That was a bit of a risky move, but I'm going to be okay with it. Now then, where do I want to go? I don't want to make a full row yet because I don't have an insect to move around. I know one of these has got to be a monster hut. I bet you it's one of these 2. So why don't we just continue on? Let's grab this one and see what we get. I'm not even going to guess because it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, boom. Oh, that's the monster. Oh no. Well, the good thing is that we can take this skull right here and send that to the boat. Unfortunately, we need to draw a threat card. Who knows, maybe we'll be using that spear sooner than we think. So we take the top threat card, flip that over, and we have found an insect. Ew, that thing is nasty. Place insect token on if the day, closest unexplored path adjacent to the skull terrain, not on an edge, and we're not on the night. Basically, all the insect's effects are discard any one resource or water to explore any of the 8 paths around it. And to remove it, we have to have the insecticide and move that to a path that has been explored. So I'm just going to put this up here to know what it is. So we can put the insect on either one of these 2 spots because I can't touch an edge. I'm going to put him right here. So that also means that this, boom, boom, boom. We can't explore any of these unless we pay an additional resource to the insect, distracting it. We also can't explore the spot that the insect is on because he is technically a red border, which is very similar to like the rocks and everything. So yeah, that's a little annoying. Before the end of Clark's turn, he is going to exhaust his jar right here, and we're just going to put a stick in it. So this way, at the beginning of the next day, we're going to get 2 sticks, and maybe I'll be able to convert that to something else using his special ability. Sacagawea goes, and I think what she's going to do, she's going to use her specialty. At least this is how I think we can use it, where it bypasses a spot no matter what. So it's like when you explore, select an unexplored path 2 paths away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over this and I'm going to explore this one just to see what this could be. I'm hoping to find stick or mud or something. I probably should have grabbed a rock, but I have plenty of rocks and I can always, I would need to know this is a rock in order to flip the Ranidae next turn. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use our ability and we're going to flip over this right here, which happens to be a stick. Okay, yeah, so what we're going to do with that is we will send that over to the boat. We're actually doing really good with sending stuff. We only need 4 more items. Mud and rock, which I know where rock is, isn't hard at all. Mud, I could really kind of narrow that down now that I know where other water is. Once I find more water, yeah, okay, we're doing really good. And I didn't have to pay anything to that silly bug. All right, speaking of silly bugs, bug bite. This now affects here. So these both come off. Ah, there we are. So those come away. We will spend our flour and a water in order to satisfy it. We don't get anything from the passing condition, but we also don't lose anything either, and I'm fine with that. So that is gone. Not fatigued. We have now reached the end of day 1. Going through here, we have our end of day. Feed your troops. So huzzah, everyone is fed. We got to get rid of this sample because it's silly. And then nighttime. If there are no monsters in play, reveal a threat card. There is one in play. Refresh all characters and gear and reveal 3 new challenges. We're going to first do our refresh over here. So all of these go up. And because we refreshed the jar, we get to take not only this stick back, but it copies itself. Not really 100% sure how that works, but you're not going to hear me complaining because any other resources we have is better than not. All right, so we have that. That's good. 3 new challenges go on the board. First one, the windstorm. Great. Build a reinforcement wall. We need mud, rock, and 2 water, and we get a stick out of it. Fantastic. I can actually, I should actually be able to do that. It is Clark's turn when it's our team's turn again. Oh my God, a windstorm and landslide. Why? We need a stick. We need a skull and 2 water. We would gain a rock and we would lose our shelter. We would lose our shelter either way, which is terrible, but hopefully we don't find it, or if I do find it, I build it later. And then rain, so wind. We've got earth, wind, and water right here to deal with us. We need to have a shelter, which is good, because I would build it after the landslide. We would lose our fire, which is fortunate right here, but we would gain a destiny card automatically, and to me, that is way more valuable than anything else. So really not the worst, and they're all 3s. So we have 3, 6, 9 hours today to get a lot of stuff done. So the first thing I'm going to do up here is I'm actually going to exhaust Clark immediately in order to get rid of the flint, because I don't need, as much as I want to build a fire with it, I don't need it right now, and there's nothing in the cards that say I should have it. I'm going to give him the mortar and pestle. Mortar and pestle. Discard any 2 resources or water, so that's any combination of resource and or water, and gain a different resource or water. That's kind of how it's going to be, how I'm going to get my mud, should I not be able to find it otherwise. The other thing is that the Ranidae has come back because it is a new day. I also forgot to completely use my medicine from last round. Oh man, I haven't, I didn't even use it. I could have used that with the dowsing rod, man. All right, well, FYI for myself about this for this turn, try not to forget it. We are on day 2, so now we need a little bit more. What I think I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to go ahead and just straight out feed him. I'm going to throw him this thing, and I'm going to give a guess because I actually know where something is. We knew that this was the peak from the setup, so I know that that's a rock there, and I don't have to pay any extra because of that insect, so we're going to immediately call this as a rock. Ta-da! That is a rock, and I know for a fact that's a rock as well because everything is connected together. Then it's just a matter, oh no, you're in the hole. Get back here, rock. Why did you get thrown down there? I'll fix that in the middle. Sorry about that. But I know that at least this or this is also a rock. So knowing this is a rock is really good. And because we fed the guy, he is distracted. We lose that meat. This flips on over. And I know Sacagawea is going to probably get that other rock, and we can send that to the boat, which will be very helpful. She'll actually be able to get a mud in that situation because of her dowsing rod. So that'll be nice. That'll be exactly what we need in order to survive the windstorm. Okay, that's okay. No, yes, I mean, yes. All right, so then with it being her turn, let's activate the dowsing rod, call that as a stone because it's got to be that. And then if this is a stone, so let's just first make sure this is a stone. Yep, of course it is. Very good. Then I get to take any resource that's uncovered from any point around it. So I'm going to take a mud. Hold on, back up really quickly. I would have done all this beforehand anyway. I'm going to take this resource right here, this stick, and I'm going to toss it just so I can toss this as well. I would have done that beforehand. It's a retconning thing of it. I know I would have done that before I had done any exploration at all because I had the extra stick. That's kind of the purpose of me duplicating it with the jar. To get rid of it. And I forgot to do it during Clark's turn. We'll say we did it at the beginning of Sacagawea's turn. It doesn't affect too much, but I want to be able to get what I want to get for our challenges. So we got a rock here, and I was able to get a mud from using the dowsing rod. So that's why I wanted to get rid of the sample, because that was just taking up too much space. You know what I also realized? This right here, that's a stick. That's wood. That has to be wood because wood has Sudoku rules, only one per row and column. We've exposed pretty much everything here, so this has to be wood because there's wood there and wood there. And that also narrows down where the wood is going up this way. So I know that one of these has got to be wood. Same thing, going up that way. We're going to start making our way up this side, opening up what's here. I just don't need, I need the rock. Oh, you know what I should have done also? Take that rock and send it to the boat. God, I got to remember that as well. Yes, this is another thing that I know I would have done if I had remembered. So yes, it is a little bit of a backtrack on that. I do apologize for, getting ahead of myself with this, but it still would have all ended up this way in the end, trying to figure out where they go on the board. Okay. Day 2 retconning is done. We are finished with that. Every other move I make now is going to be precision accuracy right to the end. Clark is going to go, and where is he going to explore? We need to find mud for our insecticide, and I think this might be mud because I feel like that this is a rock. If this is mud, this is absolutely a rock. So I'm not going to call anything. There's nothing to call or whatever. So I am just going to go ahead and explore this with Clark. There we go. Okay, so there's the mud. Instead of collecting the mud, we are going to ship it down to our boat. And oddly enough, we only need 2 more things. We need a mushroom and we need water. We have not found much water. That is quite distressing. And speaking of distressing, that's going to probably be the end of his turn. Yep. So that's 1, 2, 3 hours spent in order to try to manage the windstorm here. We'll spend a mud, we'll spend a rock, and we'll spend 2 water. Yeah, this is the problem because now it's like I'm running low on water really fast and I gotta find it. I do get a piece of wood back, which is nice, but water is starting to be a little bit more necessary right now. Unfortunately, you can't put water in his jar and it makes more water, but I can put some random stuff into the pedestal to make water, so we'll see how that goes. Sacagawea is going to go next, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue moving up this way. So this is a stick right here, so then at least I know, well, this has got to be water, or this has got to be water. They both could be water for all I know, but then mud is also connected to rock and water, so I know that that's rock. I'm not going to touch this yet. I'm going to keep moving up. Maybe I'll be able to find it. This could also be water too, because it is touching, well, that would mean that's a rock as well. That's a really big range, but I guess the only way we're going to know is if we find out. Is there anything else I want to do beforehand before I explore this? Nope, let's explore this spot right here for Sacagawea's turn. And it's a flower. Okay, well, I guess, no, because it's only in vertical size. So that means these 2 are flowers. which means this has got to be water. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to say that this is water and this is mud, because that would satisfy that, and then you would have water and flour in the same row. Not that we need the flour for anything, but it's good to have, especially if we have that mortar and pestle in order to get more water out of it. I can also use Sacagawea's ability to jump over the mud and just collect that water immediately. And then I could also use the medicine in order to re-bring up the dowsing rod, say the mud, and then use the dowsing rod to say the mud and gain more water that way. So that's kind of my thought process right now as things are going on. But it is Clark's turn. I need to find the shelters. The shelters are important because I need to get that mushroom. And if I get that mushroom, then I can grab this water and send it to the boat, even though I need it. But at least doing that will be able to make my insecticide, because he's just going to chill there for a while. So I'm going to keep moving up, so this way I can attempt to get a destiny card. So Clark isn't going to do anything else. He's just going to flip this over. Okay, so it's a hilltop. Hilltop means that this gets discarded, so that's good. So we get a free turn. That doesn't go on the board. And then also, there are no monster dens here, and neither of these two are monster dens either. And I'm actually really, really happy with that. So he's just going to keep moving up this way for a berry. Okay, so now we have some food, which is great. We need food anyway. Food is important for the end of the day, so we don't die. All right. With that said, then I wonder if the shelter's right above it. All right, so just logic with me right now. We have food right here. Food is diagonal to a teepee, and I feel that the teepee is right here. I'm actually pretty confident that it is right there, not right here, because I think that this is the shelter, and I'm going to put the mushroom right here as a way of thinking about it, because then right here, because it would be orthogonally next to the shelter, would have to be wood. Wood could go here because it's not in this row yet, nor is it in, or I'm sorry, in this column, nor is it in this row. So that would make sense that this is here, which means that this, or this would have to be the monster den. It can't be here because there is no monster den. So it's either here or here. I know in my luck it's here. But yeah, that's my theory in terms of where everything is. All right, so it's Sacagawea going now. She is going to go. First thing she's going to do is she's going to exhaust the medicine in order to unexhaust the dowsing rod. We are now going to use both her ability. Do I want to use the dowsing rod for this? No, I don't want to use the dowsing rod yet. We'll just have it open regardless. We're going to go ahead and activate Sacagawea's ability before the dowsing rod, because we're going to go here and we're going to jump over this spot and we are going to explore this spot right here, which I am pretty sure is water. Not that I'm guessing it or anything like that, but if it is water, then that's great, because then I'll send that to the boat. Yeah, we're running low on water, but I should be able to get some soon. So okay, it is water. Fantastic. All right, so that means, yes, this is mud. Yes, this is rock for sure, 100%. This satisfies that technically. I mean, ideally, this would be the same here. It's possible this is water. I don't know. No, I'm gonna take. Fill in again. All right, sending it over to the ship. Boom. We just need a mushroom. I think I know where there's a mushroom. So once we do that, then we don't have to worry about flipping this guy back over anymore. We can immediately get the insect spray and worry about trying to kill insects. However, we do reach the end of the challenge, which means this goes here. This all is gone. So 1, 2, 3. We can spend a wood. We can spend a skull, and we only have 1 water left, which is really bad. Really, really bad. But we do satisfy this, which is good. Everything can get moved down. And a rock can go here as our gift. We would have lost our shelter, but we don't have one currently. All right, moving back on over to Clark right now. He's just going to explore here. I think we can explore here and be good with it. We'll be able to get a destiny card in our midst, so we can use that. And I really do think this is a shelter. And if this is a shelter, then I can build it right here and satisfy the rainstorm before it even triggers. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Nope, it's not a shelter, but I don't lose my turn, nor do I lose anything else. And I didn't guess anything, so that's fine too. Okay, then I'm still convinced that this is wood based on where it is, because this might be the shelter. Like maybe instead of here, it's here, and that would still satisfy having a food and a wood orthogonal to where the shelter would be. And then the teepee is here diagonal from the food, which means this would be where the monster den is. So I'm gonna go here for his extra turn. It's another berry. All right. That was unexpected and not what I wanted, unfortunately. So that's there. We do get another berry. I don't have a place to put a shelter. I need to find a place to put a shelter. What I am going to do is we will just take this berry before the end of Clark's turn. And we're going to exhaust the jar and throw the berry in the jar, because I'd rather just have 2 food right there. Moving over to Sacagawea, we're going to immediately use her dowsing rod, because we're going to need some water. I have to call it. I have to call this as the mud in order to be able to get the water. I mean, I could do the teepee next turn as well in order to swap out my flour for water in order to build it up that way, which is great. I don't have anything to make a shelter. So we're calling this as mud. This, oh, it's a stick. Uh-oh. Okay, well, that didn't work out. Wow, logically, I could swear that would have been mud based off of all that, but no. And I've wasted the dowsing rod on that too, which is not fun. And whatever Clark does next, it's going to trigger this, which means we would lose all of our fire, we would lose 1 water, and we would gain another sample, which I do not want to do at all. What's wild is I am like a bit at a loss here in terms of what's what. All right, so that's not a stick at all, so for sure. And I would say that can't be a shelter, because shelters need to be orthogonally connected to food and a stick, and this can't be a stick because it's already here in this row. Now, this could be a stick, but it needs to be food as well somewhere. And I'm now positive, well, not really, I've been making some bad decisions here, so this might not be a teepee. If this is not a teepee, then this could be a monster hut? No, because, oh man, there's food and food. This could be a teepee as well. One of these, it could be either one of these. Oh no, where do I want to go? All right, we're just gonna try it out here. We do have the mortar and pedestal in order to be able to do some stuff. We're just gonna keep moving across. We're gonna go right here. I know this is a stone, so at the very least, on Sacagawea's next turn, she can feed the Ranidae one last time in order to flip it, in order to give us time in order to find the shelter, which is what we need. But then we need insects on the board, because that's ultimately what we gotta do to survive. Clark's just gonna explore here. 1, 2, 3, what is it? Wow, it's a teepee? Okay. Huh. Okay, so with it being a teepee, I'm gonna go ahead and toss this flour, because I don't need it for anything, and I'm going to replace it with a water, just to survive me this turn. Everything does move down 1, and then I think what I'm also going to do is use his mortar and pedestal to gain another water. Yeah, we're gonna take this rock and this stick, throw them into the mortar pedestal, smash them down to whatever in order to create another water, because we really need it. Plus that clears out our backpack a little bit, because we're going to be losing stuff already. And we're going to be gaining another silly sample, which is awful. That's going to be the end of his turn. We're going to go ahead and take all of these off, because that's 3. We do not have one, so unfortunately we fail. We lose 2 fire. We only have 1, but that's all right. We lose a water. At least I got it back, and we gain a sample, clogging up our spots. I wish I had gotten, man, I was so confident that I'd be able to get a destiny card. Well, you know, I should have technically taken a destiny card from finishing up that column. I'm just gonna take the crate, because the crate I'm gonna need in order to move insects around in order to kill them. So we'll do that for later. What's the replacement? I didn't get another one, so it doesn't matter. Moss. I love this one. Place a food token on the end of day area. It will be eaten. You don't need to worry about it. It's just automatically there. I need that destiny card in order to be able to make sure I don't die. But regardless of all that, speaking of not dying, consequences are fine because we're not fatigued. There's no consequence monsters out there. We feed our troops, so everyone is okay. Yum, 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 yum. There is a monster, so we don't have any more threats. Let's do our unexhaust. Bringing everything back up. It was Clark's turn, so we'll start with Sacagawea. I'm going to need it for sure. We get 2 berries because of Clark's jar. So we'll move this over. 1, 2, and let's see what our challenges are for the day. First one, monster tracks 3, a stick and a skull. If we pass it, we can look at one path adjacent to an already explored path. If it's a skull, we lose a water. We definitely want to pass that. We need that. We need that. Really, we need that. We really, really need that. And I think I could get it, no problem. You know, famous last words. Bug sting. I need a mushroom or a flower, a berry, and 2 water. Move 1 insect token to an adjacent path. By then, I really do hope to have my insect spray, which then I could kill an insect, which would be great. Otherwise, if I fail it, the Ranidae flip and an insect goes on the board. Again, not the worst, because I got to kill them, and I should be getting my insect spray soon, so crossing fingers, hopefully. Finally, we have bug infestation, which is not part of the insect one, even though we are insects. Need 2 mud. If we have a shelter, we gain 2 water. Oh man, 2, that would be great. Because we need that water so badly, or else we may lose. If I don't find a way to get a water soon, we're gonna lose on this bug spray one. For sure. Oh no. All right, and the Ranidae has hopped himself back over here. We have 1 more piece of food to give him, but at the same time, what is it? We could use water, but I don't have water right now in order to sacrifice to give him. It is Sacagawea's turn. So we do have to flip the Ranidae regardless of anything, and I think the best way to do this, I know that this is wood just based off of the location and the rules, and I know this has got to be a mountain here. So I'm 99.9%, because now I'm not sure of anything, confident that those 2 are correct. So what she's going to do is she's going to now use her spear. Taking the spear, we remove this from places permanently out of her thing, and she kills this insect, because if I want to grab this, I don't want to spend a resource. This also means that we are 1 insect down, 3 more to do until we win. She's then going to use her dowsing rod in order to be able to make a call for something, and we're going to call this as wood. Because if we get that, then we'll be able to get an adjacent item for free, and I can get this skull, and that means Monster Tracks has been officially finished. So long as we don't lose anything. Yep, there it is. There is the stick. My wood pieces, I hoped it was, and because of her dowsing rod, we were able to get that as well. On Clark's turn, he's going to guess the mountain in order to get the Ranidae to distract one last time. But that goes there. That goes here. Got a pretty decent amount of stuff. But again, we have enough that we need for the monster tracks, which is really good. All right, Clark is going to need some space. So he's going to exhaust his jar. And by doing that, he's going to put a food into that. Right? Do we want food or do we want something else? We're definitely doing that. What do I need? I'm actually going to put the wood in it. We'll put the wood in that for right now, just to get it out of our inventory, and then also to get us something a little extra at the beginning of the next day, because day 3 is going to be really crazy right now. With that said, we're going to go ahead to the Ranidae. We're going to throw a last piece of meat to hopefully get him out of here, and then we're going to call this as stone for the next thing we're going to flip over. Which I, again, am very confident that this is still, I've been confident so much, but then I've been wrong so many times too, and I don't like it. Stone right here. Yep, there it is. Okay, thank goodness. Because everything worked out that way. It should have been there. All right, so Frogman over here is munching away. Flipping over means we have quite a lot of time now to find a mushroom, which is going to be very, very important. As finding a mushroom is what we're going to need in order to finish up the insect spray. Oh, man. And then we also need the insects in order to start coming out. It is Sacagawea's turn. I'm actually going to move this over here and say that this is a TP, and I still am convinced that this is a monster hut. This would then possibly make this a shelter. I'm going to do this, and at the very least, we have finished up another column, so I'll be able to get a, a Destiny card. Yes, I know that I did the stick, and that finished the row, which would have moved an insect, but it is what it is. We can figure it out later, but yes, finally, yes! With that, we go ahead and take our mushroom, send it back to to the ship, completing it. All of these go back to the supply. And then with that, we flip it over and we have now made the insecticide. So long as there is an insect on an explored path, they immediately die. Now, you're dead, by the way. We need to find more insects. We also get a free, Destiny card because we did the row. We're going to take this moss and we're going to immediately use it to put the food right here so we don't have to worry about finding food for the end of the day. It's just automatically going to be there. Flipped over Destiny card, move 2, oh good, see, good thing we got the insecticide, that's amazing. Move 2 insects tokens to an adjacent unexplored path. The more that get on the field, the better it is, so then we can start killing them. We don't have to worry about the Ranidae anymore because we've already made the insecticide. It is Clark's turn, and then what he's going to do is he's going to exhaust his mortar and pestle, and then he's going to use this berry and this rock and pulverize them in order to make a water. Again, I don't quite know how that works, but we need water in order to be able to do stuff. I think the other thing we need this in order to pass our area. I was going to make a shelter, but I need these and a water in order to pass it, and I'd rather pass it rather than taking all of these penalties. So let's explore somewhere, which again, now I'm pretty sure that that's a teepee, so I'm just going to explore this spot without needing to call it. Nope, it's a hill. It's a hill that tells me that there is a monster den, one this way or one that way. This goes back into the box, so he does get another check. Again, I'm pretty sure that that's a monster den, which really wouldn't be so bad if it was an insect. You know what? Sure, let's go with that. 1, 2, 3. Yep, there's the monster den. All right, this isn't so bad. At least I hope not anyway. So that's going to go here. Move that over. So that came from there. So now we have 2 skulls, which is great. Even though this is above, we're going to spend stuff in order to lower that down, which is terrible. But because we did a monster den, we flip over our threat card. Oh, sweet, another insect. Haha, give me the bugs. Closest unexplored path adjacent to skull terrain, not on the edge. All right, so Busby right now is right here. Before I do anything else, Crate, move an insect token to an adjacent path when you explore the last unexplored path in a column. Okay, so I would need to explore here in order to move him over, and that's going to cost me something. I don't like that, but it is a thing. And I got some resources in order to be able to figure that out. But that's going to be the end of Clark's turn. These come off. We can spend, this is getting really close to the edge. 1, 2, 3, which again loses another water. Oh no, I don't think we're going to do this. Look at one path adjacent to an already existing path. If it's a skull, lose, oh no, I don't lose water. Never mind, because it's not going to be a skull. Well, at least I hope it's not going to be a skull. Let's take a look. I'm going to take a look at this one just so I kind of know what it is, and maybe Sacagawea will be able to help me with something. So we're going to take a look here. That's a hill. All right, so whatever that is, it's great. And there's the one skull. So perfect. Sacagawea will go next and she'll go there because she can open that one and move that insect over because we complete a row, killing him. Fantastic. It would be at least 2 down as opposed to them. So moving down, moving down, moving down. And we do have 2 water. This is probably going to be a fail. And if I fail it, if I pass it, I move an insect token. If not, then an insect token goes onto the board. Again, not the worst thing in the world. I'd rather have the 2 mud for this, but we'll see how it goes. Let's go with Sacagawea. We know she's going down here because we know that's a hill. Ta-da! So this doesn't count towards the day, which is great. We know that's the 1 skull, so that's fine. This, I don't know what this is going to be. I can't even fathom what this is going to be. Can't be stick, it can't be mud, it might, I don't know. I'm just going to flip it. Oh, it's water. Oh, that's even better. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It just might have saved us the game having 1 extra water. Oh my goodness. I got to build a shelter too for here at some point, but I need to collect stuff first. She did expose an entire row down here, so we're going to take this insect and move him over here, and within that nest using the insecticide, spray, 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 and you are dead. So that is 2 out of 4 bugs that we have killed. Now it's going to move on over to Clark's turn. Oh boy, what is he going to do? I think we're going to keep moving this way. I'm going to wait on this one because I would have my crate that would enable me to move an insect once I open this. Then I'd be able to get a destiny card from there. So we're just going to keep moving to the left. Any one of these could be sticks, which is also fine by me. Flipping this over. Hey, look at that. There's my stick right there. So with this being a stick, that means water could be here, here, or here. And there's really no other places where water might be able to be. And I could definitely use some water for sure. All right, so we'll put that here. Now I'm just trying to collect some resources in order to be able to get through all this. I'm going to purposely fail this. Yeah, I'm going to lose 2 water, but that's okay. But I'm going to discard this berry in order to get rid of this sample because I don't like not having stuff. You know what? I'm also going to, as another free action, pick 2, 1 stick and 1 skull, and we're going to build a fort. Fort's going to go right here, and that's going to be something that would be great to have for the next challenge, should we happen to make it that far finding mud. Mud's got to be somewhere around here as well, because unless this might be a rock. This might be a rock, because I can see this definitely being some type of rock right here. It is Sacagawea's turn. Because if this is a rock, then that's mud. And we can get multiple mud. Could we get multiple mud? I don't know. I'm not quite sure how to work with it yet. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab this one and see if I'm right with this being a rock on Clark's turn. So whatever this is. Oh, it's a monster den. Oh, hello, monsters. Oh, boy. All right. So the bugs are swarming us, apparently. That's fun. Unless this isn't a threat card like that. Nope, it's another insect. It's the same looking insect as before. Closest on this board path to the skull, because it is during the day. And discard any resource if you go into it. And I would, okay, got it. It's actually really good because Clark is going next. I'm going to put the bug right here. And with Clark being able to go next, he'll be able to do this in order to move him around, which actually we're going to do that right now. No, we're not. No, we're not going to do that right now. What we are going to do is we're going to satisfy the bug sting right here and actually put out our 4th bug, which is going to be awesome. We lose 2 water, unfortunately, because this is a fail. And then flip Ranidae face up. Doesn't matter. He's not here. Add an insect token to one of the easternmost unexplored paths that's not on an edge. Oh, no. That's the one I needed. Oh, man. This one. This is the one he's going to. He's buzzing in right there. Apparently there was still some more down there. Oh no, that's what I needed in order to move him down and to move him. So there's our 2 bugs. We just have to figure out how to get them off in order to win. Oh no, what am I going to do? I also don't remember if that was Clark's turn or Sacagawea's turn. I think it's Sacagawea's turn because Clark was the one that got this. No, that was Sacagawea that got this skull. So it is Clark's turn. So he's going to go now. Okay. I guess I could just keep moving across here. 1, 2, 3 would enable me to move this insect down. And then on the beginning of the next day, I could take this one off to use my crate to move that one down. So I think that might be what we do. So Clark's going to go. He's going to explore this one, which happens to be a food. All right, so we got that. We know we only have 3 pulls for the rest of the day, but that should be enough to at least complete that 1 row. All right, it's Sacagawea's turn. I know I need that mud, and I feel like the mud is like over here somewhere, and I could use her in order to get the mud that's here. I feel like this is mud, because I think this is, man, I really, I've been wrong before. I've been burned before, but I could use the mud and then use, yeah, all right, we're going to do it. Let's do it. We're going to exhaust Sacagawea. So now we're going to go from here. We're going to go 2 down because of her special ability. We're going to check out this. We're not going to call it. I'm just checking it. It is mud. Okay, all right. We might be able to maintain this. Using that medicine could be the life and death between us right there. So that goes here. Oh, we still got to figure out how to kill those bugs. Clark goes. We're going to activate the medicine, which is going to bring back up the mortar and pestle. We're going to exhaust that in order to turn both of these, here we go, the skull and the berry, into a thing of mud. Because by the end of this, here we go, this is going to trigger, and at least then because we have a shelter, we're going to gain 2 water, hallelujah, and we're going to gain a sample because bugs are bugs. I'm going to exhaust Clark, and I'm going to take the mortar and pedestal, and we're going to get rid of it, and we're going to swap it with the tracking guide. Exhaust after explore. Do not gain the resource or water from the exploring. Discard the path and explore again. It's going to buy us some time, and I'm going to need to do that. So I'm exhausting that now, going to the board, and whatever this is, we just don't gain. Whatever it is what it is. So we're going to flip it up, and we don't gain the mushroom. That's fine. But it is another place we could possibly put the shelter. This does not go to the board, so it does buy us a little bit of time. However, now Clark gets to go again, and we are going to go right over here. Oh, joy, it's a monster. It's a monster den. Fun. Okay, so that goes here. We do get a skull, and we have to draw another threat card. Fun. Feed the beast. Discard one extra resource or water to make a guess before you distract the Ranidae. Well, he's gone, so really I don't have to worry about that. Oh my God, that's great. Oh, that's fantastic. You mean nothing to me. I'm just going to put it up here because I want it out of the way. With that also said and done, by the way, we do gain the ability to move one insect in a path orthogonally. So I'm going to move this guy back down in here, smoke out him once again, and hopefully kill everything in there during this, and kill number 3 out of 4. This is a very low scoring one, I can tell you right now, because we haven't hit many of the 2s, but it doesn't really matter because on the next round, we're going to win. We're going to spend 2 mud to fight off the bug infestation, appropriately enough. This goes here. We do have a shelter, so we gain 2 water, again, hallelujah. And we gain another sample. Fun, great. Did I get rid of that one sample? No, I didn't. I thought I did. Well, it doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter at this point because we're going into the night phase, eating that berry, so we're all still surviving, and then tomorrow we're doing some bug hunts. Let's unexhaust everyone here. Let's take our stick and duplicate it. Move these down. 1, 2. Throw down our challenge cards. Insect egg. Cut it out. Move an insect token if we have it. We don't have fire. Again, we're going to win this turn anyway. So next one we have keep food cool. We need to have fire. So having fire is always good to gain a reward, or else we'll lose a lot of water. And capture bugs. Test insecticide. So we get a lot of crazy stuff right here. And if we fail, we would do that whole flip of Ranidae and put a bug. Plenty of ways in this one to get bugs out on the field. You just got to be lucky about when they come out. In any case, Sacagawea is going to go. It is her turn. She's going to pick this one right above here. It is a TP, not that it matters. We are going to use the crate, which is move an insect token to an adjacent path when you explore the last unexplored path in a column. Whoosh, gone. We'll move you to this insect den right there. And smoke you, dead. And my friends, we have beaten the Insecta. Man, we came down to the wire on that one, but let's see how we do. So the way that you score yourself in this is you add up together all your remaining challenges, like how many hours it would take, and then you would go from there. It's going to be -5, whatever it is. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. 16 minus 5 is 11. We scored an 11, so we are skilled trackers. Still not so bad. We would have been at 16 if it wasn't, so it would have been veteran Pathfinders. Still pretty good. Not a bad score overall. And of course, we had a great time doing it. What other was? We had the insects spawn right there was the only other one we needed for this particular, map. There was a 4. Wow, that would have taken a while to go through. Amazing. But the other threats, just to show, let's see. Insubordinate crew was shuffled in. Chase was shuffled in. There's an insect that had 3 insects coming out next. So lots and lots of insects in here that could possibly go on the board. But man, that was amazing. And there you have it, everyone. Expansion number 1, the Insecta for Corp of Discovery. I do want to go ahead and, like I said in the beginning of this, do the expansion number 2 because I have that as well with the giant bird thing. Just so much fun going through this, being able to like figure out where things were. But I want to just see what this one is. Were you a, yes, okay, you were. I had to have been a mountain there because of the wood right there. That also means then the wood would have been one of these last 2 places right here. No, one of these two. One of these two or one of these two. This is the wood. I bet you that's the wood. I'm going to make one final guess and say this is wood. Yep, there's the wood right there. So then this would be wood right here, right? Yes, this would be wood right there. There we are. All right. I'm not going to expose any of the other ones because I know if you are going to be playing this at home, you may want to think about like not seeing every little bit on the map, but I love the way these are designed. They're so well thought out in terms of where everything goes on the map. It's just so much fun going into one of the many maps for all the different expansions, figuring out the best course of action in the hope and prayer in order to get through it. I lost on this one, I think near the end of day 2 because I ran out of water, but I was also swarmed by like 3 insects at once due to threat cards, and you can't explore around them without spending resources, and that just dried me up completely. Thank you once again for joining me on this journey across the United States in giant insect-infested areas with Corp of Discovery, a game set in the world of Manifest Destiny. In order not to miss any future exploration with Lewis and Clark or any other fun game I put out for you to enjoy, be sure you are subscribed to the Home Gamer Dad. If you wish to support the channel even further, there's a ton of ways to do that down in the description section below. There might be some affiliate links here and there and everything just to see what I can use with the new YouTube affiliate program that I'm part of, or sending you over to Amazon. Those are affiliate links. I'll try to get those specifically for off-the-page games. Those go a long way to helping the channel if that's how you wish to purchase this. But otherwise there's plenty of other links for you to jump around to get this game, to check it out on BGG or anything along that ways. And in the long run, your view, your like, sharing this video, commenting down below. Thank you to Off the Page Games for featuring one of my videos in that Kickstarter, by the way. I should have said that right from the get-go, but you guys are amazing. You have no idea the big smile that was on my face when I saw my fauna video as that first one. Oh, it was so great. And it inspired me to jump on this to start making these again. It was amazing. Thank you so much. To everyone else out there, take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together, exploring the land, discovering new and wondrous things, hoping to come across a nice, friendly, fluffy bunny rather than some monstrous creature that ultimately wants to eat us, like a giant frog or crazy bugs, or a giant bird-like human thing that we will see next time. Speaking of which, you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.